Anthony, Mike.
So tonight we are going to have a very fun special webinar with a gentleman that knows a thing or two about investing, and he's put out something there for you that you're going to learn about throughout this webinar, where he is actually going to be investing in your deals. He's going to be your mentor. He is the unshakable investor himself. Toby Potter, I want you to start this webinar off right.
You bet.
Tell people a little bit about your story. And then after that, we're going to get into some of the different projects that you've worked on. We're going to get into some of the awards you won and all the different mindset stuff that you do with people that you work with. So, Toby, and tell everybody why you are the unshakable investor.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Anthony, for being up here and doing that intro. In 1994, I set out to transform lives. I started a company called Imperial Mortgage Corporation down in Richardson, Texas. And at that time, if you weren't around, I'll give you a little history lesson. Interest rates had come down from the Carter area down in 16% interest rate down to 5.5. It was like an unbelievable refinance boom that was taken on that hadn't happened in decades. Bill Clinton was taking over office, and he was trying to stimulate the economy. And so refinances were going gangbusters, and everybody was getting into the mortgage industry, refinancing their mortgages. And so when we launched the company, we realized at that moment in time that there was an opportunity there, but there was also a missed niche. And that niche was that individual. See, back then, everybody that had great credit could get an amazing rate at low fees, and they shopped the shit out of it. And so I wasn't into that. That wasn't transforming lives. That wasn't doing anything special. So, but we saw a missed market where people didn't have really great credit. They didn't have bad credit. They just have really great credit, and they still wanted the American dream of home ownership. So we set up a little platform that said, all right, if you qualify, we'll work with you and get you a brand new home. And the way we did that was we rebuilt your credit. So we would go and we would do a pre-qualification. You fit into this certain bucket. We then took you to a builder. So back then, U.S. Homes and Pulte Homes was building houses between $200, $250 was that price point, which was a perfect FHA, first-time home buyer home. And so if you fit our criteria and fit our program, then we took you down and had you sign a contract with one of those builders to build you a brand new house. And then during that time, we would rebuild your credit. So we would get your auto insurance. We would get your cell phone bills. We would get your utility bills. Anything that you've been paying on for at least 12 months or longer, and you made a monthly payment, we got letters of credit and added that to your credit report. It was the awesome thing. Here's what really set this apart and really lit people up. About every 2 weeks, we'd call the family, the husband, the wife, the kids, say, hey, meet us out at the house. And we'd go look at it, and there'd be your foundation. And we'd take a little seat and say, hey, this is your bedroom. And Johnny, hey, Johnny, here's your bedroom. And Mary, here's your brand new kitchen. So we dreamed with them. And we got them fired up. We got them lit up. And so then 2 weeks later, hey, they framed your house. Let's go look at it. So we kept them going because they saw the opportunity evolving in front of them. And so when I needed Peter, hey, Peter, I got to get those letters. I need you to call this company. I need you to do this. Or, hey, you guys aren't hitting your financial budget. You haven't been setting the money aside. Now, we just walked your house. And if you don't do what we need you to do, I can't close this loan. Long story short, every person closed. They got a brand new house. We would close them on an FHA loan in 90 to 120 days. And when you did that for one person, they told the world. They told everybody. And we just grew and grew and grew. We grew so much that at that time we had to buy we didn't have to, but I chose to buy a RE/MAX franchise. We wanted our own. I was tired of going out and calling the families and walking houses. So we bought a RE/MAX franchise, and we had our realtors now doing that. We would assign a client to the realtor. The realtor then would hold their hand and walk them through it. And this grew and grew. And then the builders came and said, hey, we love what you're doing. We need to be closing Friday nights and Saturdays. At the end of the month, we're closing out these subdivisions. We really be closing Friday nights and Saturdays. I said, well, let me buy a title company. So we bought a title company, and we had an appraisal company. So we had the mortgage company. We had the RE/MAX franchise. We had the title company. We had the appraisal company. And we were living life to the fullest. Had a big fancy house. Had a big 50-foot yacht. Had a big 45-foot motorhome. And my kids didn't know what it meant to have to do anything but just say, I want this, I want this, I want this. So, and there were many, many times that we would kind of joke and we say, yeah, we're going to the office. We're going to print money. We're just printing money today. And so we did this, we transformed lives, and we felt like we were making a huge impact into the real estate community. We had an amazing reputation. We had banks countrywide, Bank of America, a Ford Credit, which was, Ford Credit, 123 option funding. All these banks were whining and dining us, and we were on top of the world. Loving life, couldn't see anything but just glory days ahead of us.
The mountain does have a drop sometimes.
It did. It did. Thank you for bringing that up. So 2008 comes, and if any of you have been around for any period of time, you know what happened. The crash came, and the crash came hard. It was a national financial crisis. It affected the stock market. It closed down the mortgage industry, and it devastated those that weren't prepared. And in the beginning, we didn't think much about it until we had an app on our phone. At the time, there were Blackberries and Androids. I can't remember what the other one was, but we were getting these notifications of these banks closing the doors. I mean, day in and day out, all day long. And inside 30 days, 250 banks closed their doors of our banks that we were doing business with. And when Countrywide went out, which was our biggest client for FHA, that really made me nervous. Mm-hmm. But when Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy 45 days after this crash, it's when it really hit me, we're in trouble. It really hit home that, hey, this is serious. And now what are you going to do, Toby Potter? You built this empire. You built this lifestyle. What are you going to do? And we started liquidating. I mean, as fast as I could, I started selling. And it was more than just a fire sale. It was a liquidation of, hey, just take it off my hands before the bank gets it. I don't care. We also, some of these clients weren't able to do the new construction. They needed 12, 18, maybe 24 months. So we were doing at that time fix and flips. We didn't call it fix and flips. We did owner financing. So we would buy a house, fix it up, move them into it, owner finance it, and then, work on their credit over 12, 16, 18 months and then refinance them. We had about 35 of those on the ground at that time when that crash happened. And I just walked away from them. I just walked away. It was not probably the smartest move looking back. But when something to that magnitude hits you, you're in desperation mode. After about 90 days of all this, walking away, getting rid of everything, selling this amazing custom-built house that we had on family land, that was probably the straw that broke my back emotionally, mentally, and partially physically. I felt like a total failure. I felt like a total loser. I let all my employees down. We had over 100 employees between the RE/MAX, the title company, the mortgage company. They all had to go find new jobs. I had 2 kids and a wife that just was devastated by having to move out, get rid of. We had nowhere to go. Went from telling my buddies that I'm going to work and printing money to now grabbing my 6-year-old and 9-year-old on a Saturday night, going down to the local Kroger around 11:30, because that's when they bring the Sunday papers in and put them in the paper rack, which they don't have anymore, but they did back then. And I would put $1 in it, open it up, and there'd be 6 or 8 Sunday papers, pull them out, have my girls pull the coupons out, stick the papers back in and close it up, and we started clipping coupons. You could buy a case of bottled water at that time for $3 or $4 a case. I didn't have that. I did have $1. And at that same Kroger store, you could refill those bottles for $1. So we went from having never thought about money, never needing to worry about money, never having to care of money, to now trying to take $20 bill and make it last 2 weeks. Unemployed, didn't have a house to live in, had to move into a single wide trailer house that was family owned. So there was no mortgage on that, no rent, nothing like that. And so this was something that was devastating. This was something that was humiliating. This is something that was just overwhelming, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. I felt like a total failure. I felt like that why? I was doing right by society. I was helping people have the American dream. I was doing everything in my power to impact and influence people, and then all of a sudden have it wiped away from me. That made no sense. What the heck is going on here? And so it was tough. And so I sat around for a while and I got mad. I got pissed off at the world. I got pissed off at God. I got pissed off at all my friends, all my family. I mean, I just completely isolated myself. And for a period of time, I lived in my own pity. I did get another job into insurance, and I really hated it. At the time, I wasn't, before the crash, I hadn't sold anything. I just sold the dream. And I had people doing. Now I'm out there door to door selling insurance, starting from the bottom, because I didn't have a resume. I didn't have any job history. I was a CEO of a company, and now I got to go get a job. Nobody was going to hire me and pay me a salary. I had to go work for an all-commission insurance company. I was mad, and I was devastated. And for a while, it resonated. Everything around me turned to crap. Everything around me, just nothing transpired. And one day, it dawned on me. I was living in my own pity, sitting in a room, and I said, what was going on in my life when I built this empire? Let's see. I was living in a trailer house. I had a landscape company that was doing okay, but it was, my wife will tell you, when she met me in that trailer house, she was more worried about the rats eating the food than us eating the food in that trailer. But that's where I was. I sold that landscaping and started the mortgage company. I didn't have anything. I didn't know anything about mortgages. I didn't have anything, but I built it. And how did I do that? And so I started thinking about who I was then. This was started in 1994, lost it all in 2008, so I rewound that clock. Who was Toby Potter in 1994, and how the hell did he build this empire with no funds, no capital, no knowledge, but just a dream and a fire? I said, that's it. I believed in me at that time. I believed that I could do it, and so I set out and did it. Well, then what the hell are you doing pouting all the time? What are you doing sitting around here whining and crying because you lost it all? Rebuild it again. Okay. So at that moment in time, I started then putting all my time and energy into my mind, my spirit, and my body. Every day, I got up and I said, if it's going to be, it's up to me. Nobody's going to give it to me. Nobody's going to help me. I've already pissed them all off. So nobody's coming to my rescue. So if it's going to be, it's got to be up to me. And you did it once, you can do it again. So I started going through that mentally, spiritually, every day, being grateful for what I had. Didn't have to file bankruptcy, so we didn't have that on us. Credit was shit, and we didn't have any money. But because I changed my mindset, because I changed my attitude, because I changed the way I saw the world started seeing me differently. And guess what? I started selling insurance day in and day out. And then within 90 days, I became the #1 district salesperson. I won every award, every accolade that they had. In fact, that was the deal. They had quarterly awards, and they would say, here's all the awards for most cases open, most premium, most this, most that. And I said, okay, I want that, I want that, I want that. All right, and I go to work. And I had targets. And because I believed in me enough to know that no matter what, I can achieve whatever I believe, that's what I set down. And I started doing it, and I started rising back up. And I started climbing that ladder back up. Day by day, week after week, month after month, started achieving every goal. Until I finally got hired with an insurance company who says, you've done so well over here, we want to put you in front of a territory over here that's sucking. There's 32 territories in our company, and this territory is ranked 32nd. Means it's at the bottom of the ladder. We need to see what you can do with it. I said, all right. And so when I first got hired, they said, hey, one of the unique things is if you ever are to grow this back up, they give away a trip at the end of the year. And this year we're going to Hawaii. The #1 territory is going to Hawaii. I'm like, let's go. Like, oh, well, we're already 3 months into the year. It's going to be really hard for you to achieve that. I said, what are the metrics that's going to put me to #1? So they laid it all out. And I'm here to tell you, I took not only myself, my wife, but my kids who were allowed to go, I took them to Hawaii because we won that trip. Simply because of one thing, I never stopped believing in me. Once I realized what was missing, once I realized where the element of disconnect was, everything changed. Mentally, spiritually, physically, started believing in me, started growing and building. And after about 3 years, I realized that corporate America wasn't for me. And so then I founded Global Integrity Finance, is the company that we have today. And I do this to tell you that I've been there, I've done that. I'm telling you, I've been rich, I've been broke. I really like being wealthy. It seems to be a lot easier to deal with. But just because you're in a situation doesn't mean you have to stay in that situation. Every person that we talk to has the God-given ability to achieve whatever they desire. We have an entitlement to have everything given to us that we deserve, that we work for, that we achieve after, that we go after. And this is the thing that people don't recognize, realize that, yes, I've had it and I lost it all. I mean, I lost it all to the point that I wanted to give up. At many, many, many times, it was a thought crossed my mind to the degree that it would have been easier to run my vehicle into a concrete wall and be done with it, because then the pain wouldn't be in me anymore. But see, the problem is that pain would be transferred to my family, and they would have to live with that. And so I knew that was never the answer. Sure, I had a good life insurance policy that we were able to keep, but that wasn't the answer. The answer was to pick yourself up, to understand and believe who you are, what you can do, and then go after it and do it. And that's what I did. So I'm going to show you all here today who we are today, what we've achieved from that massive failure. I'm going to say it's a failure. Whether we created it or just a victim of it, it doesn't matter. Failure is failure. But see, each and every one of you have this same problem. You're not where you want to be, or you would not be on this webinar tonight. You want to learn, how can I have more? How can I be more? And I'm going to tell you, there's 2 things that I'm going to teach you, coach you, mentor you, and guide you through. Number 1 is start believing in you. Start believing that you have the same gifts, the same talent, the same fire in your belly that I had twice. Because I did it when I built Imperial Mortgage, and then I did it when I lost it and had to build Global Integrity Finance. So 2 times I rekindled this fire in my belly and built empires. I'm going to show you today why I am here today to open this up, to share with each and every one of you an opportunity that if you are sick of where you're at or sick of where you're headed and you want more, then perhaps by partnering with us, we can show you how to achieve more, how to be more. And if after this webinar you say, you know what, I think the guy's full of crap, I get it. We're not for everybody. But I can promise you this. If you are serious about a financial freedom, generational wealth, better tomorrow, happier tomorrow, a better feeling as to why you get up. If you're not bouncing out of bed at 3:30, 4 o'clock every morning, then you're not happy. I get up every morning, 3:30, 4 o'clock. I don't set an alarm. I get up because there's so much to do in this world. There's so many people to see, to inspire, to influence, to guide, and to mentor. That's why I get up. See, my why became bigger than just me. My why came back to, hey, I was given a talent, given an opportunity to impact and influence lives. And I lost it, but then I regained it on a bigger, better
Bigger
platform.
Yeah.
I was going to say bad. So I'm going to go through this with you real quick.
Can I stop you for before?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
So I've heard you tell the story several times, and each time I enjoy it even more. And first off, there's a couple things that you made me think of. If anybody's seen Wolf of Wall Street, I've been rich, I've been poor, and I choose rich every day. There's something that sounds greedy to that, but I can tell you that it's based on who you work with, who you partner with. And I've gotten to know Toby for a couple months. And if you're going to partner with somebody that knows the difference and also knows how to be decent to human beings, that's why people would want to partner with you. That's a big thing. And then secondly, it is more than just real estate. When you pulled yourself back together, it wasn't immediately like, all right, I need to find my first deal.
No.
It was how you find yourself. People always say if you don't have $10,000 if you have only $10,000 to invest, don't invest it in property. Don't invest it in stocks. Invest it in yourself so you can build that confidence back up and then start to figure out what your next steps are. So what we're going to do next, what we're doing next with this presentation, and right now, if you're liking what you're seeing and you're on social media, not on Zoom, I know we've got multiple people watching, like this video, share this video. And if you have anybody that you know would like to hear this, has been interested in getting into real estate, this is the call that you're going to want to have them check out. Secondly, if you have questions, start putting them in the chat. After we go through these slides, which are very brief, we're going to go ahead and have Toby answer some questions for you. I will help moderate. We've got Nick with the nice mustache in back. He's going to be relaying some of that information, answer any questions that you might have. But you're going to want to see what he's been working on recently so that you understand what you are going to be working on when you actually get the opportunity to work with the unshakable investor, Toby Potter. Toby, let's go ahead and check out these slides.
Yeah, real quick, I want to say, you talked about the Wolf of Wall Street.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Zig Ziglar is one of my greatest mentors, and he said the same thing. He was struggling in sales and was dead broke, and then he understood how he had to change his mind, change his outlook. But he also said, I've been poor, I've been rich, and the difference is that I can change more lives with capital, with money. When you have wealth, you can do so much more with it. You can now give back more. Now you don't have to be wealthy to do that. And you need to be able to start with zero and have the right mindset, the right heart. And then it just, grows from there. So that was one of the things where I always understood that if I really want to change lives, then I need to be in a position to do it. And here's where we are. We have built this company for the last 10 years so that today we can be here to show people. Because see, here's what I hear every day, Anthony. Oh, the real estate market's dead. Oh my gosh, interest rates are too high. There's just no good deals out there. I'm getting ready to show you there are deals out there every day. And we did almost 300 units last year when everybody was saying real estate's dead, don't get into real estate. And we did it by finding the deals. We bought these at 50 cents on the dollar. So in 12 months, we were able to almost make $8 million in net profit. In 12 months. During a time when everybody says real estate's dead. So it's not that, it's a mindset.
Of course.
It's a mindset. So I'm going to show you how we did it, what we did it, what we've grown, what we built, and then to see if this is something you want to be a part of. And we would love to have you part of our family, part of our community, because I believe that every person has the right to have the most fulfilled life possible. So, as you can see here, we've been sponsored in CBS, Fox News, NBC, and all that through our articles. Here are some of the awards that we won. So, Inc. Magazine, Inc. 5000. You can see our accolades here. We are top 100 fastest growing real estate company in 2022, coming out of COVID. Best of the best 2025. Private Lender of the Year 2020, going into COVID. And so these are things so we started in 2018, and short 3 years, we were already on top of the ladder.
And you know how competitive the real estate market was in 2021?
Oh my gosh,
so
yeah.
To know where you and you talked about failure, and then I'll let you go on this, but you say, well, why would you want to work with somebody that has failed in such a large fashion? I'm going to tell you, you don't want to work with somebody that has not failed, because guess what? The next time there is a curveball, you're going to know how to deal with it, where most people don't.
Yeah.
So that's a very, very big deal.
It is very important. And this is what we will tell you is when you're doing it. So one of the things that we talked about, Anthony, is and I hope there's no psychiatrists or psychologists on here, but if you are, too bad. So, one of the things that I've always said is, so let's say I'm married, I've got kids, and we're not getting along, kids are acting out, we need to go see a counselor, right? So am I going to go see the counselor who's never been married and never have kids to get advice on how to treat my wife and deal with my kids? No, I want somebody who has a family, that's raised a family, and has a certificate to show that they're educated in that. They have life skills and education. And it just cracks me up, because I've heard people say, oh, yeah, we're going through marriage counseling. Oh, yeah, tell me about your counselor. Oh, yeah, it's a single man. I'm like, whoa, hold on. How is he counseling your marriage? He can't get married. He's never been there. He's never done that. So you want to align yourself with somebody who's been there, done that, because you're right. We can see things you can't. We know things you don't know. And this is where 99% of real estate people fail is, number one, they do something and they don't know what they don't know, and then they get caught with their pants down. They don't have the capital to finish, and then they're stuck and they lose. Right. Or they don't get into real estate because of the fear of that. I don't know what I don't know, and I don't want to. I've only got $200,000, $300,000 saved up. I put it into a property and I lose it all. Then what do I do? Now I don't have a property and I don't have money. So we're going to remove all that. We're going to be that person that's been there, done that, that's built an empire in real estate, who's done a ton of deals, and that can guide you and direct you and show you how this works and what to look for, how to sidestep the landmines. So in all this, we talked about, so for most of you who registered, you're going to get this book. I don't know how close I need to get, but it's the Fireproof Investor. So this is a book that we have. We're going to be sending you that ebook. This is an amazing book. And if you only read this book, you will be 10 times ahead tomorrow than you were today. This is an amazing book that I wrote. Because we wanted to really encompass all my knowledge, everything that to relay it out to the general public. Here is Kevin Harrington. If any of you know who Kevin Harrington is, he's the original shark of Shark Tank. We did a book signing with Kevin, as you can see, Building Wealth, Building Legacy. That book's right over there behind you, Anthony. And we co-authored this book with him. And so here we are at the book signing. And this is where, when you have the recognition from somebody like Kevin Harrington, who, as you may know, coined the infomercial world as seen on TV, has built billions and billions of dollars in that. This was a very unique honorary opportunity that we were able to capitalize on. Brad Lee dropping bombs. Now, this guy has got it going on. Over 5 million followers. Every time he does a podcast, there's thousands and thousands of people listening to it. We were on there talking about this program, talking about the unshakable self, talking about this, and we got blown up overnight. The minute that thing launched, it was unbelievable. This is one cool dude. Here we are with some other celebrities. So Patrick Mahomes. If any of you ever watched Young Sheldon, this is Georgie off Young Sheldon. So I played cornhole, won national one time, was a national champion one time, took third and ninth, but here I'm playing with Georgie. And then you got Neil McDonough from Yellowstone, from Justified, from The Last Bull Ride. This guy is amazing. So these are the kind of people that we're able to now be a part of, learn from, and build upon. Boop, boop. So let's talk about what we've done. So yes, in 2015, when we launched Global Integrity Finance, real estate investing was easy. HGTV had made us wealthy because they were doing fixing and flipping Vegas. You had Chip and Joanne Gaines. You had all these shows, 30-minute shows, where people going and buying these dilapidated houses, fixing them up, and making tens of thousands of dollars, right? And so we were just getting into it, and this was the new way of real estate investing. And So it was not hard. Everybody was getting in it. Interest rates were relatively competitive. And so you could get into it and you really couldn't fail. Even if you bought wrong, under budgeted, you still really couldn't fail. But then COVID came. Now, I will tell you, that was another story within itself, because here we were on top of the mountain, growing and building, and we were probably doing 25, 30, 40 million a month in closed loans. And then boom, COVID comes. And I will tell you, on March 13th, 2020, that was a very dark day for me, because we had $9 million in loans that we had closed funded. We sell that off to Wall Street, and we had a commitment from Wall Street to buy those loans so I could get my $9 million back. And they said, sorry, we're not buying your loans. You're stuck with them. And I had $8.7 million out that I was not happy about. It was another moment, but we were able to revamp, overcome it, and keep going, because, see, I had never lost that belief in me. I'd never lost it. Even though I'd gone through the 8 crash, this crash could have been just as bad, but we just kept right on going. I pivoted immediately, kept things going, never laid anybody off, and grew. But then interest rates jumped way up in 2022. And everybody said, oh my gosh, the real estate industry's dead. No more fixing and flipping. No more of this. We got to go on hold. There's just no good deals out there. And I said, BS. So I hired my buddy Nick here. We came in and said, Nick, I want to go buy 1,000 doors. In the next 12 months, I want to buy 1,000 doors, because I want to show the world there's still great deals out there. He's like, I'm in. Let's do it. What do we got to do? I said, and so we put a plan together. And so we turned this chaos in 2022, 2023, and 2024 into little over $8 million in net profit in assets. And this is how we did it. So we're going to start with the Market Street Apartments here in Evansville, Indiana. So this building, can you pull up the first picture, Nick? This building was an old, dilapidated building that was vacant. It had a sprinkler system that had burst in it. It had flooded the floor, the fourth floor, the third floor, the second floor, all the way down the basement. And it had just been sitting there in a total chaos. It was nasty. It was ugly. Go to the next picture. Show them really the guts of this thing. This is what the property looked like when I bought it. And we bought this without walking it first. I bought this building at 66,000 square feet. And I bought it for $750,000, and I paid cash for it. It was 109 units, senior living facility that had gone bankrupt in 2020, and it sat vacant for 3.5 years with all this mold, this mildew. Homeless people were starting to stay in it, but only in parts of it because it was so bad. And so we took it, I bought it, and I said, we're going to convert this thing into an apartment complex. And it's right downtown. And so we then put together a plan, and we dumped $4.5 million into it. And show them what it looks like now today, Nick. That's your before. That's your before. That's what it looks like now on the outside. There's the rec room. That picture didn't turn out very well. Oh, back up. Uh-oh. What happened to our photos? Little technical difficulty. Go back to this screen. So you can see right here, these are what the inside of the apartments look like. We were able to expose some of the brick, some of the beams. We kept some of that 1880s theme into it, and it's now 90% leased up, cash flowing nicely. That property right now today will appraise around $10 million, anywhere between 8.7 to 10 million, give or take. That's done in 12 months. Same time while we're doing that one, we did this one here in Longview, Texas. So this was a 94 unit. And this is a great story. So this is how, when you know what you know and you know how to do things, this is how you find a 94 unit apartment complex that's 60% occupied, and you pay $5,000 for it at closing. $5,000 is what I put into that when I bought it. So this deal was brought to me from a broker who said, hey, we've got an apartment complex out here in Longview. The seller's an out-of-state seller. He's tired of it. He's upside down. He needs out. We're going to run it through auction, but we've heard that you're buying properties and want to see if you wanted to buy it pre-auction. So Nick and I drove out there. We walked it. came back and said, yeah, we'll offer you $2.5 million for it. Oh no, Toby, that's embarrassing. I mean, this will go for $4 million on auction. Now, what's your highest and best? I said, Nick and I ran the numbers, and 2.7. That's just it, man. That's just all it's worth. Auction goes. I get a call the day the auction ends, and the broker says, hey, you know that property out in Longview? Yeah, it went for auction today, and it closed at $4 million. I said, you're going to call me in 30 more days, and then I'm going to take you to steak dinner because it closed and funded, or you're going to call me and tell me that the guy bailed because he was an out-of-state buyer and never saw the property. And I'm banking on the latter. Okay. 6 weeks later, I get a call. Toby, you're right. The guy bailed on it. He couldn't perform. I said, no, it's not worth $4 million. What will you pay? I said, man, I'm telling you, 2.7 is, I'm top end. That's it. This thing needs a lot of work. He said, well, here's the problem. The guy owes more than that, and it's with the credit union, and they're forcing him out. I said, well, what's the note look like? And I said, well, the note's a really good note. It's a 4% interest rate, 20-year note, and so, you know, it's a good deal. I said, well, then why don't we just assume the note? Oh, it's a credit union. They don't do that. I said, all right. I said, so hook me up with the credit union. Let me tell them what we're doing, and we'll see what we can negotiate. So they got me in touch with the credit union, told them I wanted to buy the property, and I wanted to assume it at the 3.1 with the 4% interest rate. And they're like, oh, we don't do that. But if you'll send us your financials, send us all this, we'll work up a loan. I said, what's the rate today? They said, oh, probably 6.7, 7%. I'm like, I'm going to send you my stuff, and then we'll negotiate. So I send them my financials. I send them everything. About 2 days later, they called back and said, we'll let you assume the note. We'll let you assume the note. I said, great. Perfect. I love it. We're going to go do a due diligence. We'll close in 30 days. I said, that's fine. So we sent a team out there, and they walked all 94 units, and they took over 200 pictures, Nick? At least 200 pictures of every nook and cranny. Show them the pictures. Pull the pictures up. So these are some of the pictures this is what it looked like. Yeah. And this place was a pigsty. I mean, people were living in this. This was 60% occupied. And so we told the due diligence, said, find all the crap you could find. We get all this done, and I send it back to the bank, said, hey, we just completed our due diligence. Want to just give you an update. Here's what this is what we've concluded. And I get a call from the vice president of the bank, said, so you're not going to close on the deal? I said, well, I'll tell you what, this thing's in a lot worse condition than I expected. This is really in bad shape. He said, yeah, I guess we'll just foreclose. I said, here's the deal. I don't think it's right for these people to be living in that squalor and that mess and that crap. I don't think it's right. And if you do that, it'll be a year before they get any help.
Yeah.
He says, you're right. I said, so I'm going to close on it, but I need another $1 million to do it. I need $1 million line of credit to do this. He said, done.
Did he keep it at that rate too?
We still have that property today at 4% interest rate.
Including
a $1 million line of credit done that quick. And I thought Nick was going to pass out when they said, done. I mean, the guy didn't even take a breath. I said, I need $1 million line of credit now. He said, done. I should have asked for two. I mean, he didn't push back. I wish if he had pushed back, I know he could have come, but $1 million done. And so we jumped on it. We've now got it. We're at almost 80% occupied. The units are amazing. That was part of the previous. There's a rehab unit there. There's the previous on my right. And that's what it looks like today. There's another unit. So we went in and completely rehabbed it. We've had more tenants come and say thank you. Thank you. See, we don't just do things to make money. We do things to change lives. We want a legacy. Global Integrity Finance, if you understand that name, Global Integrity Finance, integrity is our middle name. It's a legacy that I wanted to build. I wanted to build it in 1994. And I had to change paths. But we're still with that same heart, that same mindset, that same passion to impact and change lives. This is why we're rolling this program out.
Think about if you could actually, the people that are interested in doing real estate, it's not just about their financial return, because that's great. If they could find a way to put $5,000 down and potentially turn that into, even if it's 12 doors, even if it's something smaller than that, and then have the ability to fix something up, understand the rules behind how to deal with the bank to get extra money out of the loan, all those different things, you're able to actually be a good landowner, good with your tenants, and actually make some money on the back end, a lot of money on the back end. Yeah.
Well, and so exactly right. It's not just going in there, and so I see tons of slumlords. I see tons of. In fact, Nick and I, when we were going through and closing on these deals, we probably went through 50 apartment complexes, at least 50. I don't know, maybe more than that. Some of them that Nick wouldn't even bring to me, but because it wasn't just. I mean, there was some that was tons of money to be made in them, but they just weren't the right deal. And this is where people mess up. They get emotionally excited about, oh my gosh, I can make this apartment complex. We're into it for $4 million. Mm-hmm. It's worth 6.5. So in 12 months, we've got $17 million of assets here with the 50 cents on the dollar balance sheet. So this is how you make financial wealth. This is how you create generational wealth. This is how you transform and change lives. Now, this was apartments. We do this every day on single family. So, but see, the problem that most people, they don't understand is that they have to quit looking at the dollar signs and look at the impact. And once you do that, everything else starts moving in your direction. Everything starts working because now you're making a transformation in the universe, in society, in the community, and you're giving back. Yeah. And you're growing accordingly.
How much cash out of pocket? But we're going to do Q&A in a second. But I've been meaning to ask you this. How much cash, was this the one you were 5,000 or was that the other?
This was 5,000.
So you were 5,000 out of pocket.
Yep.
And then your cash flow positive over the note of the loan, clearly with the 80% people in there. So it's revenue generating, the option to sell it, to just take the 2 million.
I could take the $2 million off the top and be done with it. Yeah. Became an instant millionaire. So if I was dead broke in 2023, into 2024, I was a multimillionaire.
So if I'm one of the people working with you, and we find this. You and I find this together. And that's part of the program that we'll talk about in a second. You find a way to help me get it to where they only need 5,000 to close it. I give 5,000 in, which at one point you even help with, depending on the fund or depending on the building. 5,000 in, you'll help with the rehab. It's already folded into the loan. It's cash generating. You're 5,000 in altogether.
On some deals, you could be
potential.
Yep.
Yeah.
If
the right deal.
If the right deal's in, yeah. There's so many deals. Most deals you're going to be a little heavier in because most people don't. I mean, it took us. How long do we work on this? We worked on this almost a full year on Longview, right? At least a full year to get it back into where we're in control. But that's the glory of it. When you aren't looking for the monetary word, but the big picture, patience is on your side.
Yeah.
Patience makes you millions. So, I didn't realize I could have done. I'm so sorry, Nick. I could have done all this. Why didn't you tell me? Touch the screen, dummy. Yeah, touch the screen. So these are some of those pictures before on the Market Street, and then this is what it looks like today, completely rebuilt. This is the rec room. That was that basement that you saw earlier. And I don't know why this is a beautiful picture. I don't know what happened, Nick. It blew up too big. We blamed it on Brenda. And then this was Longview. This was the air conditioning unit. The cooler system was up here, the fan, and the condensation was so bad. This is in the shower. The condensation was built so bad it was just collapsing the ceilings. And people have big showers. The picture sideways. I don't know how that happens. Technical difficulties. But the
building was so bad it was falling over.
The building was falling over. We had to stand that sucker back up. But this is again was all that. This is in the shower. You can see the shower down here. This was that unit, and all that just collapsing because of the condensation and the rust and all that. This is what the building looked like before. This is the laundry room. This is what it looks like. This is that same shower bathroom. This is how it is transformed. And then this is what it looks like now. We repainted the outside. This is before. This is now after. And that's what it looks like. And then there's another unit there. I mean, this is how clean, how pristine. This is now what they're living in. This is the transformation of lives. And trust me, I got $12,000 in this little 600 square foot unit. But you know what? I've also got a happy tenant. I've got somebody who's not having to worry about asthma, allergies, infestations, the bugs. Oh my goodness. I never knew anything about German roaches before. I now know everything about German roaches. They are unbelievable.
And they drive BMWs.
They do. Yeah, they do.
German.
So
Nick's confused.
so let's talk real quick. Sure, you got a question? You bet.
It was a good one. Yeah, I mean, the answer, what's the average turnaround time from start to finish?
We're going to get into that.
Yeah, we'll get right into that in a second.
Yeah, but that's a great question. Hold on to it because we're going to show you the program, how it works, and the timelines that it works within. Is that it?
No, I mean, people are commenting
Good.
a lot, talking about the deal and everything in there.
I see the smile on your face. They're talking about my legs too.
So when I talk to real estate investors and when we were really growing and blowing and all the trade shows, I'd have more people say, hey, Toby, what does it take to get into real estate investing? And I guarantee you there's 70% of them on this podcast right now, webinar, whatever we're going to call this. So what does it take? What does it take? So you only need 3 things to be successful in real estate investing. You can't have 2 of the 3. You can't have 1 of the 3. You have to have all 3. You have to have the right project, the right property, okay? You have to have the right knowledge, the right education, the right understanding, because you don't know what you don't know, so you need somebody who does, and then you have to have capital. And with those 3 things, your probability of success is about 99%. The only way it wouldn't be is if you screwed it up because you didn't listen, I don't know. You still sometimes. If you have the right project,
1%.
you have the right knowledge, guide, coach, mentor, whatever, and you have the capital, then there's no reason why you wouldn't succeed. Mm-hmm. And so I tell them you have to have these 3 things. It's just, well, I can't use that stool. I say it's just like this stool, but that's a 4-legged stool. Oh. A 3-legged stool, if one leg is missing, it's wobbly, it will teeter, it will fall. That's the same thing with this. If you have the right project, the other 2 usually follow in because this is where you spend 85% of your time looking for the right project that will make money. Any one of you on here can go on to Zillow, Realtor.com, Hubzu, any of the platforms, pick in a zip code or punch in a zip code and pull up 200-300 properties for sale all day long. Doesn't mean any of them are the right deals. The difference is how to know which one of those can be the right deal and how do you make it the right deal. And that's one of the things we teach. There are hundreds of thousands of properties for sale right now nationwide, and yet all I hear is real estate investing is dead. Properties are too high. There's no good deals out there, and so we're just not going to do anything. We got a low battery, bud, which is fine. You got a low battery on that too.
Camera.
It's low.
Low. It's in Angie's office.
Is it?
It's over there on Taylor's desk. So I'm going to keep talking. I don't know if what we're doing, where we're at. We are having technical difficulties. There's massive storm going on right now in McKinney, Texas. We've got maybe a tornado coming. I don't know if you saw it, but I saw it. So just hang on, everybody. We're heading to the shelters. Just kidding.
Can you hear us right now? I think they can hear.
No,
they can still hear us good. Yeah.
They see the
presentation. So good. So they just don't see our beautiful faces. That kills the whole vibe, right?
Disservice.
So, but 85% of your time is looking for the right deal. And here's the deal I'll tell you. When you find the right property, the instructors, the capital, all that comes to you. Okay? But we want to make it even easier because the last thing you want to do is spend all your time looking for the right deal and then not know what to do. So we're going to put together a package program for you.
We'll go to the next one. She gave me the wrong package.
Oh, yeah, it's over there on Taylor's desk.
Okay.
Yeah, it's over there on Taylor's desk. And so he went to this screen. So, and it doesn't matter because you guys can't see this screen, only we can see it.
Yeah.
So you have to be serious about a financial future. You have to be serious about wanting the rewards of real estate investing. Because here's the deal. And Anthony, I'm going to tell you, it's not easy or everybody would do it. Especially right now. Yes, interest rates are high. Valuations are high. Profit margins are thin on the surface. But when you can take a 94-unit apartment complex and pay $5,000 to have that deed transferred to you and those notes transferred to you and turn that into a $6.5 million property, that margin's not that small.
Right.
It's just knowing how, having that knowledge, having that experience, having that ability to be able to negotiate. And that's when you look at the hundreds of thousands of deals that are out there on the market today, you got to be able to know how to go to that seller and present an offer that they don't shoot you because it's so offensive, that they want to negotiate with you because you're coming up with a common result that everybody wins. And so you've got to be able to have a daily activity and a daily action. You've got to be able to have systems in place. And so this is what we've built. Over 30 years of real estate investing, we've put all that knowledge into some systems to be able to create a platform that you could easily duplicate and do and manage daily with. And then number one, I'm telling you, if none of you have gone and done the Unshakable Self, bought this book, it's on Amazon, you're missing out, because that is where it starts right here. When you believe it, and I'm going to say this really slow, when you believe it, you can achieve it. Now, the difference is most people hope, wish, dream, desire. They don't believe it. They don't want it so bad that they're willing to do whatever it takes to get it. That's not a belief, that's a wish, that's a hope, that's a dream. That's saying, oh my gosh, I wish I could win the lottery. How stupid is that? When you just take that same energy, that same mindset, and say, I believe I can achieve, and then get up and do it every day and watch it happen. That's the difference. So we're going to work with your mind and show you have the God-given abilities, God-given talents to achieve everything you ever wanted in life if you're willing to do what it takes to get there. And then we have the foundation. It's not a theory, it's not hype, I'm not a guru. I'm a true battle-scarred, built from the ground up guy that's been there, done that, and achieved it twice now. Okay?
We could tell you've been through it by your face.
Yeah, scars.
I mean,
scars. My daughter broke my nose the last time. So,
hey, real quick,
yep.
Can you start, especially on the Zoom, Nick? Can you make sure to have the link pop up if people maybe they're done, they might need to go someplace. If you want to book a call with Toby, he's going to put that link up there for you. And I know we've got that scrolling on the bottom of all of our different social medias as well. But if you just want to book a call, or actually, Brenda, you're in the back office, go ahead and put that link for people if they are interested in booking a call to talk with you. So
absolutely. Because you might have questions you don't want to ask on here. We're going to stay on, ask some Q&A and all that. But now we're going to get into the question was answered. How long does this take? So I believe with the right product, the right program, the right coachable individual, we can have you purchase, close, fund, and start rehabbing a deal in 90 days. So we built a 90-day program. It's a 90-day blueprint that gives you all the tools, all the resources, all that I have given to you at your beck and call along with me each and every day. So this course is a 90-day course. We have weekly community calls that everybody gets on, and we talk about the wins, the losses, the struggles, all that, so that the community can brainstorm off of each other. We go through trainings. You have daily assignments. You have a weekly reassessment. You get 2 one-on-one 15-minute one-on-ones with me each month. You get my AI. So as all of you may or may not know, AI is the new buzz of today. And we were able to build a long time ago my AI. Basically dumped everything I've done, my books, so we have underwritten over 6,000 deals in the last 10 years. We have approved almost 4,000 of those deals. So we funded almost 4,000. And in the last 30 years, I funded a little over $1 billion in loans. All that has been dumped into this AI. Every time I've declined a loan, every time we've approved a loan, every valuation, every scope of work is all dumped in there. So you have that at your mercy. So when you're driving a neighborhood and you pull up and you see tall grass in a house, and that's a sign that it may be vacant. So you punch in the address and you look and say, oh, the property's in this area of this. So you go to my AI, say, Toby, I'm thinking about buying this property at $150,000. Let's say it needs $100,000 in rehab. What would the ARV be? How long are the days on the market? And what would be a win-win for me? How would I structure this? My AI will give you that answer right then and there. It'll say, hey, Anthony, this neighborhood sells for about 350 to 375. Average days on the market's 31 days. So if you bought it at this price and rehabbed at this price, this would be your margin of profit.
Yeah.
And then you know, hey, here's an opportunity. Now all I got to do is find the seller and then make that offer. And then that's tools that we give you. So all these tools are part of what we do. The deal analyzer.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah.
That one's screwing up.
Okay.
But I have
So
it here.
private sessions, all that. Everybody can see it there. So these are the tools that come with that 90-day course. And yes, it is worth well over $155,000. I am nowhere going to come close to that. Because see, here's the deal. As I've shared with you, it's not about the money. It's about the transformation of lives. It's about empowering people to become better. So we're going to do this for about a tenth, or even less than a tenth of this. We're going to do this so that you can learn from a group of individuals, a team, to support, guide, and direct me personally, and be able to get yourself into a better spot. We want every day to be better tomorrow than it was today. We want every day to be impacted so that you're getting up at 3:34 in the morning because you're so excited. Because the sun's up, it's time to go, let's rock and roll. See, we're going to do this because I believe that this is how we get people back to what American Dream is all about. It's about being able to go on vacations. It's about being able to have a good retirement. It's about generational wealth. It's about creating legacies. And then when you start donating to missionaries and to churches and all this, now you're impacting a whole community, a whole society, a whole planet. So we're not going to charge you the $155. Okay. For anybody that makes and schedules a call tonight, you schedule that call to talk to me tonight, we're going to throw in this bonus. Nobody else has been offered this. We're going to throw in these bonuses. So we're going to give you an extra session, a one-on-one session with me. We're going to give you the rehab estimator because this is one thing that most people miss up is what is my cost to repair? And we have a real quick, so you're in that neighborhood. You see that house and you step it off real quick. You peek through the window, say, hey, it's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. It's about 1,800 square foot. It was built in 1955. What would be my estimated rehab on a moderate rehab? And it will tell you right there, so you have a ballpark number. This gives you the number so that you can make quick decisions. Speed of implementation creates wealth. Speed of implementation creates wealth. And so you need to be able to have the ability to make decisions right there. Because if that deal doesn't work, if you're looking at it and it tells you, hey, the house is worth $30,000, you're going to put $200 in it, and the neighborhood's only a $300,000 neighborhood, walk. Yeah. Get to the next one. But see, this is where people get hung up on this one. They go, oh crap, I can buy this house for $30,000. Maybe I can only do it for $60,000. Maybe I just kind of slowly rehab it, put a tenant in there, and then they get nightmares because everything's broke. The appliances don't work. The HVAC doesn't work. The plumbing doesn't work. The utility, the electric plumbing. So now you got a tenant in there because you lipsticked it, and now you got complaints. Now you can't keep a tenant in, just like that apartment complex. That guy couldn't keep tenants in there. So we want you to make sure that when you make a decision, you make the right decision, but you make it quick so you can move on to the next one. We're going to give you scripts. So one of the things when you do find that goose is to lay the golden egg, you got to be able to negotiate with the seller. We're going to show you how to do that. We're going to give you these scripts so that you can make an offer that doesn't offend them, but that makes them say, you might have something there. And the way to present it for a win-win situation. And then, of course, you have my unshakable AI. Because, see, if you want to work with me, I'm going to make sure that I fix you first. Not to say that everybody's broke, but Anthony's broke. Everybody can look at this guy. He's broke.
Broken.
Yeah, broken. Broken.
And broke, man.
Yeah, well, he's broken for sure. But see, nothing matters if you can't fix your own house. You can't fix somebody else's house. If your own house is not in order, my house was in order. When we lost everything, my house was chaos. I was living in this little bitty single wide trailer house, driving a minivan that my great grandfather had given to us because he passed away and it was just left there in the driveway. I mean, my house was upside down. But the minute I fixed my house, the rest of my house started falling in and everything around me started falling. So we're going to make sure that you are unshakable, that you understand, you realize, you recognize, and you move forward, and that the vibes you put out are positive because then things start rolling your way. This is an AI. So when you're going through this course, you may have a question on it. Hey, I don't understand what they're telling me to do on this daily discipline. this AI will break it down for you and give you a very deep insight as to why we want you to do this each and every day.
The AI is so good, by the way, that Angie was telling me she prefers to talk to it.
Yes.
Like if she wants the nice version of
Yes.
Toby, she uses that.
That's right.
Yeah.
So when she's having a bad day, she doesn't come in here and dump on me. She just types it into the AI and it says, "Oh, you queen, you're so amazing. Just call Juma. Juma will say you're the queen of this." Yes, that's right. Or Ruben, or Brenda, or Anthony. They'll all tell you how big you're a queen. So now you should feel better. That's correct. And I'm taking that out of the AI because I don't like it anymore. So that's the 90-day program. If you really like it, if you're serious about real estate investing, real estate legacies, real estate generational wealth, you have the ability to become a lifetime member. We have that plan for you also. And with that lifetime membership, you'll get this ring. This is a signet ring. Hand it to me over there if you don't mind. Yeah, it's right there. So we have this ring live.
That's it?
That's it right there. So this ring is custom made. It has this on it. It's right here. The camera here. Yeah. So, and it has your name on it and the date that you signed. And this is because now you're part of an elite family. You're part of an organization that doesn't exist anywhere else. So with this program, the 90-day program, here's what you get in a nutshell. You get me as a coach. You get 30 years of knowledge. You get 30 years of ups and downs. You get a coach that will guide you and direct you daily and hold you accountable. Number two, you get a partner. Because, see, in order for you to succeed, there's things that you're not going to know. And like Anthony said, maybe you don't have the full money to put down, closing costs, all that, and so you need me to come in. So I'll not only coach you, mentor you, but I'll partner with you on it. We'll bring some capital in. And then, most importantly, you get my funding. So Global 30 Finance is a hard money lender, and we fund these deals nationwide. So you now get that too. So when we find a deal, we make sure it's right, the numbers work. I'm going to be there to guide you, direct you, coach you, mentor you. I may have to partner with you on it, but then we're also going to fund it to ensure the success and profitability. So that's the things you get. The lifetime membership, that course is a 90-day course, but if you want it to be a lifetime, we have that plan also available for you. That's a 12-month plan that you get to you can renew every year.
And and you have a guaranteed deal on that one too.
Yeah. Yep. So, it's 12-month elite access. You get, of course, 52 weeks of community coaching calls. You get 24 one-on-one calls with me. You get a direct number, my direct cell phone number, so that you can text me anytime, 24/7. You get all my AIs. You get all our back-end resources, underwritings, all that stuff. I mean, you get the whole gamut. It is as if you sat here in my office with me every day and we went and looked at properties and we analyzed properties. You now become part of the family exclusively. Okay? And if you decide you want any of these books, we give you full discount on that. We have 9 other courses. Maybe you want to learn, maybe after we do our first 2 or 3 single families, you want to get into multifamily. We have a multifamily course. You want to get into commercial buildings, we have that course. You get discounts on all that. So the lifetime commitment means that we're now partners until you're ready to retire and live on the beach. And that's what that plan is. Okay? All right. So if any of you have any questions, let's do that right now.
Go and take a seat.
Yep. Let me grab this chair real quick here.
Well, there's some things that I thought about when you were talking about it, and I know a lot of people right now especially people that are interested in real estate, they pay attention to the news. There's a lot of talk about rates dropping.
Yes.
But tell me if I'm wrong. When rates drop, real estate's going to go through the roof. Right now is the time. Like right now, there is no better time probably than for the foreseeable future. The next 60 days are a great opportunity.
I'm telling you, we have been talking about this. The National Private Lending Association has been talking about this. They are our association in our industry. And we have, so originally, so to back that bus up, well, you're absolutely correct. So we're going to back that bus up. Originally, in 2024, during the election, the estimated time was second quarter of 2025. If Trump wins the election, second quarter 2025, interest rates are going to come down. third and fourth quarter, real estate's going to go through the roof. Nobody projected the tariffs. And he got so involved in the tariffs and all that the interest rate item got put on the shelf. It is now almost evident that next month that the feds are going to drop interest rates and that they're going to have 4 more drops by the end of the year. We've always said that the minute that the interest rates, the Fannie Freddie bond market rates get into the 5s, the real estate investing market's going to take back off because now home buyers are going to start buying houses. The people that didn't qualify or don't qualify now are a little bit nervous, holding off. 1 year waiting to buy a primary residence is no big deal. Once it gets into the 5s, that's going to take off, and more properties need to be on the market. Right now, today, Anthony, there's a 6.5 million housing shortage nationwide. 6.5 million people looking for housing can't get it. When the rates come down, that's going to go to 8 million.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're right. Now is the absolute time to start learning, start gathering, start building, so that when you're ready, when somebody's ready to buy, your property is the one that they want. When this guy's ready to buy, your property. This guy, your property. This property, back and forth. If you're not there, you're going to miss.
Somebody's going to be there.
Somebody's going to be there. Global's going to be there. The Unshakable Investor's going to be there.
Nick's going to be there.
Nick's going to be there. Anthony's going to be there. A plethora of people are going to be there. The question is, are you going to be there? Because look back in your life. How many times you said, man, I wish I'd have done that. Man, if I'd only done that. Now's the time to do it. Quit saying maybe tomorrow. Because see, everybody that says maybe in a month, maybe in 2 months, those days never come. Today is only today. Tomorrow never comes. Yesterday's gone.
Thanks. Nick, do we have any good questions? By the way, Nick, does he make himself drive when you're driving? Does he sit in the back seat? Or does he actually allow you to equal? Yeah. Okay.
No. It's He's a good pointer.
Yeah.
So Connor asked, how do you help find the best deals?
Connor's question was, how do you find the best deals? What's the secret on that? And it's an easy way to say it.
Yeah, so I can't give away the secret, but I will tell you it's through several levels of analyzation. So number one, you have to find a neighborhood that has high demand, that's growing, even right now. So traditionally, as a hard money lender, when somebody brings us a deal and they want us to loan money on a project, the first thing we look at is the neighborhood. Is it growing? Is it flat? Or is it declining? Are people moving out, not moving in? And traditionally, we have about a 5% growth minimum, meaning that it needs to be 5% greater people moving into that neighborhood, population growing, housing, building, all that. If it's less than that or below 0, then we probably won't lend, because that means people are moving out of the neighborhood, so you're not going to sell. So the first thing we do is we look for a neighborhood, a city that's growing. And then we find out why. Is it because Google just moved in? Is it just because State Farm just moved their headquarters? What's the reason for this city growing? And we look at how big that's going to take, how many houses is going to be needed, and what's the supply. So we look at all those analytics, and then we start saying, this is a hot area, let's go. Because when that happens, you can pay a little bit more, because you know that appreciating and that demand's going to be following suit. So by the time you put it on the market, all these buyers will be looking to move into that neighborhood. There's your house ready to go, and you can ask a little bit more because you got 7 contracts lined up.
I'm in Steveville, an Amazon fulfillment center just moved in there.
Yeah,
that's the type.
That's the type of stuff. And then you got to look at what's the supply.
Yeah.
Number one, how many houses are on the market, how many are available, and how many people are they looking at moving into that facility to employ, and what can we do? Because maybe it's all ground up construction.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. So now what do we look for? Land, look for lots, infrastructure, infill, all that stuff. Because on those situations, when you have a development, a subdivision, and they're down to the last 15, 20 lots, you can go to a builder and get them for 30 cents on the dollar, because they need to close out to go to the next one.
Yeah.
So you can go in there and make some really good offers, get our ground up construction crews to go in there and build houses and make bank.
Sweet. What else we got, Nick?
See, is this a residential only program?
Is this a residential only program?
Yes. So it starts out residential, and because here is my philosophy and strategy and structure. You must crawl, walk, run. Okay. And I'm not going to ever put anybody on a multifamily first right out of the bag. I'm going to start you on a low end single family. You're going to buy it for $180,000, $250,000. We're going to put $50,000, $60,000 in rehab, and you're going to sell for $350,000, $400,000. It's going to be very cookie cut, very clean, because you need to learn what you don't know so that you know it the next time, and what to look for, how to work with the city, how to work with the contractors, how to get your permits, how to get your green tags. You need to learn all this on a small scale, and we slow grow it up.
What if somebody's been in real estate before? They've got a little idea how that works, and they're interested in working with you, and they want to jump in to multifamily. Like, say they have had a little bit of experience, but they have not had success in the multifamily side. Are you willing to discuss that with the right person?
We would sit down and discuss, because it's all about understanding your ability to learn. If you came to me, you're hard-headed, you're stubborn, you're like, egomaniac, all that. So I would say no. But I bring somebody else in who's very respectful, very disciplined, very astute, and they get it, and they're willing to follow those instructions, then absolutely.
Got it.
Absolutely. See, I like this guy. So because I paid him to be here.
Yeah, I got the energy drink to prove it.
Got the energy drink over there.
So people were asking that you, Toby Potter, will actually be their coach.
Absolutely. There's not. So here's the thing. I love that question. That's the million dollar question.
Did actually ask that.
Yeah. So I'm not Grant Cardone. You're not going to pay tens of thousands of dollars to go buy a course and have one of his 20-year-old, 25-year-old gurus, quote unquote gurus, coach you. I'm personally on the call every Monday morning. I'm personally working with you on your business model. I'm personally your one-on-one coach. There's nobody else. Now, I will tell you, with the demand that we have, we're only allowing 30 people to be a part of this program, because I'm still going to guarantee that. I'm still going to say it's me, not this guy, not that guy. Oh, now I got to hand you over to this person. No, for 30 people, I can handle it. I can deal with you. I can work with you. I can guide you. I can direct you. And I can devote my time to making sure you have success. So yes, that is a great question, and I'm glad somebody asked that.
And in all reality, people are like, they might see what's the benefit to you to just making the amount of money that you're charging for it. The benefit is actually he wants to partner with you, because he wants more doors. He wants more real estate. So he wants to be a funder to your deals, because it allows him to continue to grow on top of it all. He's teaching you to find places, to find properties, and then partnering with you for the benefit of you and for him. It's a perfect deal. It's a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yeah. Here's the deal. If anybody on there, you just answer this question yourself. I'm going to ask it, and you just answer yourself. If you've ever paid for a real estate course, you went and you paid whatever price. Did that person fund your deal if you found one? Did that person go out there and walk the deal with you? Did that person sit down and break it down step by step to ensure success and profitability? Let me answer it for you. No, they did not. See, here's the difference. I've seen it. I've been there. There's so many people out there that have all these courses, and they give them to you, and they tell you, oh, there's a mentor, but it's not them. It's somebody else. So you don't know their history. You don't know their experience. You don't know their knowledge and ability. You know mine, number one. Number two, they never fund your deal. So you go find the deal, then you got to go find a hard money lender. You got to go find a private lender. You got to go find somebody else. And they always tell you, here's the thing that I hate the most, the biggest lie. Oh, you go find the deal, the money will come find you. Yes. Because here's the deal. If you're brand new and you have no experience, I don't care how good the deal is. I'm not going to give you money just for you blindly to go do a deal, because I don't know how you're going to perform. I can't guarantee that you'll have success. So we wrap this all up into an assured product and program that you get me 100% of the time. You get all our tools, all our resources, and I'm going to partner. If I have to partner with you on the deal itself and fund the deal, we will. Because when you do find a deal, when you go through the course and you put in all that time, energy, and effort, I need you to have success. We need to have success together, because then we start showing that case study to everybody else, and this grows and grows and grows. So we got a client up in Kansas City, and so when we roll this thing out, we got one in Kansas City, we got one in Canada, and we got one. I don't remember where she's at now, I'm sorry, Sandra, I forget where you're at. But anyway, when they finish their deal, when we get there, this all starts in September. When they close on their first property, 45 days from then, we're going to have a live workshop in their area. Wherever that property is, we're going to set up a live workshop. And we're going to bring in 50, 60, 70, 80 people to come in and showcase that person and that property and this program. Showing, hey, Joey here in Kansas has enrolled in this program. On September 1st, he started. On September 27th, he got his first property contracted. 45 days later, he's now demoed. He started the electrical rough, plumbing, all. So we go through it, and then we're going to jump in a bus. We're going to go to the property and tour it and show them live. See, that's the other glory that nobody else does for you. So now Joey and this person and that person, this person, they now get to have their own synergy of here's who I am, here's what I've done, and they get to start leading and teaching and training others. So it builds and grows that you become now that person that helps inspire
The
others.
hub and spoke in that area.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
So, got a question here about, can somebody do this working a full-time job?
That is
The
a great
question, the question asked was, can somebody do this working a full-time job?
If you're dedicated and devoted, because so here's to answer that question. In order for me to bring you into the program, the very first thing we're going to do is set up a call. And in that call, I'm going to ask, what is your goal? We have a client that's a lifetimer, and her husband works full time, and their goal is to get him home, get him done. And so we put together a business plan to be able to get him that level so that he can get out of that job and do this full time. So what we would need to do is put a plan together. What kind of income are you making that we need to replace? And how much time can you devote? And how long do you need to do that? So if the person asking the question says, hey, I'm making $80,000 a year, I'm working 70 hours a week, and I want to replace it, it's going to be very tough. But if that person is making $40,000, $50,000 a year, and they're working from 6 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, then yes, we can build a model around that. I just need to have a full understanding of what your goals are, what your availability is, and how serious you are. Because regardless of the plan, the program, the products, all that, none of that matters if you're not 100% in.
Right.
If you're not the one that says, I'm sick of this, and I need a better tomorrow than today, and I'm willing to do whatever I can do to get there.
The fact is, you don't need to be 100% available. You need to be 100% all in, because the way that this works is that whole concept of work-life balance. When you're going to start doing and shifting something in your life, obviously you can maintain the work that you have, maintain the paycheck that you have, and build something and understand that you're going to be maybe sacrificing a little bit of time on the back end, maybe with your family or sleep or whatever it is. But when you're going to start to get passionate about what you're doing, it's not going to matter. And then eventually you can make the switch. You can pull the trigger where it goes both ways. And you said something earlier, and I wanted to remember to bring this up in terms of the workforce and the amount of jobs that are out there. And you talked about AI. In this world that we live right now, we are a couple of years away from there being a smaller need for workforce. Do you know what there will always be a need for? Is real estate. People are going to need homes. So when people start to look at the automations, people are looking at computer screens at McDonald's and all of these different things that are just going to get more and more, and robots doing it's not a joke anymore. There's going to be robots filling. I just saw them doing a full surgery done with surgeons that were fully robotic. This is the true world that we live in the next 5 years. There's going to be less jobs. There is still going to be people that need houses. If you are going to start building this on the side and learning how to properly do it, this is the time to do it, because it's coming very quickly.
Right. And that's a great segue, because if you know you're in an industry that can be replaced, then you need to find an alternative.
Yeah. And
real estate investing is that alternative. Being able to say today, hey, if I was to acquire 2 properties a year, and that's low, but 2 properties a year that are making me $500 a month net cash flow, that's $1,000 a month. And in 5 years, I now have 10 properties that's making me, what's that going to be, $10,000 a month of income. So I can run those. And then not only that, now you have the equity built into that.
And you could do cash out refinance.
Cash
You
out
could you're
refinance.
you're spending money that's already
Now
baked
you
in.
have generational wealth, what we call mailbox money.
Yeah.
So now you don't care what robots are taking over.
Right.
You don't care. What do you got, Nick?
So one more is someone asking about if you can do this in all 50 states.
All 50 states, other than, so here's our number one rule. So I always say that, all 50 states, but, so we don't do anything in Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Arizona, Utah, Nevada. We're iffy on California. But here's the number one rule also. If there's more trees or more cattle than people, we're out. And here's why. You've got to be in an area that people want to move into. You've got to be in an area that has a demand for housing. So just use common sense. If there's more cattle, more trees than people, that means ain't nobody moving in.
Right.
Montana, cattle and trees. Wyoming, cattle, trees. Nobody wants to move to Arizona. It's too damn hot. You think it's hot in Texas? Move to Arizona. Utah and Nevada, licensing rules and regulations that we just don't want to jack with.
And California is not cattle or trees, it's shit.
Well, it is, and because we all know that California is going to go off into the ocean eventually, we don't want to own a bunch of real estate when that happens. When that default line happens and the earthquake happens and that goes into the ocean, I don't want to have a bunch of real estate.
Just in case.
Yeah, and we know the government's up there. I hope nobody from California's on it. We're just kidding. Please don't.
Hey, you could be from California and just do deals in other states.
Absolutely. We have so many investors from California that are buying properties. I tell you the sweetest area. So the next question is, where's the best area to look for properties? I know that's out there. I'm going to answer for you. So if you just draw a line from Texas to Tennessee, over to North Carolina, down to Florida, come back to Texas, that is your sweet spot of real estate. Everybody's always buying real estate and moving into those areas. That is the Sun Belt. That is where everything's happening. Now there's all these touching states around it, but that is the hot spot, has been for the last 10 years, period.
So one last time, you want to go over the 90-day?
Sure. One quick deal. So how long we been on this, buddy? Hour and a half?
It's 7:22. So
Hour and a half. So real quick, 90 days. So join it. So you're going to have questions. How much is it? You know what? I'm not going to tell you because I want to know how serious you are. Does it matter how much? If I told you it was $99, how many people would sign up? That's the question. If I told you it's $99,000, how many people would sign up? But the question is, how much are you willing to invest in your financial freedom? How much are you willing to invest in being able to enjoy everything that you've ever desired in life? Now, I'm going to go back and recap real quick. I started with nothing. I built it up to something amazing. I lost it all. No fault to mine. Lost it all. And started building again and have what we have today. Have an amazing house. Have an amazing ranch. Have an amazing daughters, grandchildren. Have everything that I could ever desire again, other than I don't have you on my team. That's the one thing that's still missing, is I don't have you. And that's the one thing that's lacking. Why am I doing this? Not because I need the money, not because I want more work. You see, I got gray hair. But what I don't have is I don't have you. So the question is, how much are you willing to invest in your future? How much are you willing to invest in your financial freedom? How much are you willing to invest in your family so that they never have to worry? College, weddings. I've got a daughter who's getting married in, I don't know, 2 or 3 months. I don't want to look at you.
Soon.
She ain't marrying you. But
Angie, how long?
I've got a daughter who's getting married in November. And I'm telling you, the cost of the wedding is unbelievable. But see, I can afford it. My daughters put up with me when I lost it all. They never lost faith in me. They never stopped believing in me. They never said, Dad sucks. Oh my gosh, we were living on a yacht, now we're living in squalor. They never said that. They never stopped believing. That's why when we won that trip to Hawaii, it was supposed to be for just me and my spouse. I took my kids. I got in lots of trouble. But you know what? I don't care. Because we had the memories. They deserved it. They believed in me. You should believe in you. Your family believes in you. Are you ready to make a decision? So if you are, then you need to schedule a call because you're going to talk to me directly. And we're going to put a plan together and see, are you one of the remaining 30 that we want to put into this program? I would love to open this up to 100, but I can't give you the service, the dedication, and the devotion you deserve for success. So we've limited it to 30, and we're about to fill all those spots. So the question is, are you ready to invest in you for the next 90 days, September, October, November, and have the best Christmas you've ever dreamed of? That's the question you got to ask. Are you ready to bank on you? Are you ready to bet on you? Are you ready to build a lifestyle that you've always dreamed of? So you get 90 days of me. You get all the AI programs, all the tools, all. So I'm back on for just a minute. So we're about to run battery dead. This is what happens when you have low budget technology. Hollywood wouldn't fund this for us, so we had to fund it ourselves. But you get. I am long-winded. This went for an hour and a half. But you know what? There's so many people on here who wants to quit. You got hundreds of people on here, and I can't quit because there's so many people who want more out of life, and I want to be that guy to provide it to them. So you get me each and every week, Monday mornings, bright and early. You get a course every day. You get AIs, you get analyzers, you get a rehab, and you get the whole kit and caboodle. And you get a community of like-minded people to rally around you, to help build you, lift you up, and inspire you. So click that link, schedule a call. Once we fill the 30th slot, we're done, and you'll have to pick it up next year. So I love that. I can't believe how many people have been on this. This is amazing. Absolutely overwhelming. Love every one of you. I know you're serious. If you have any desire to change tomorrow, your future of tomorrow, at least make the call. That doesn't cost you a dime. Doesn't cost you a dime to make the call. Schedule it. Let's talk. Let's see if you're the right person to fill the slot. Talk to y'all soon. Love it. Anthony, thank you so much, brother.
Great job.